And your third stimulus check update and your stimulus package update is of Thursday, February 18th. If you did not receive your second stimulus check for $600, then unfortunately, you're going to have to claim it on your tax return. The House Majority Leader, Steny Hoyer, confirmed that the House of Representatives will be voting on the stimulus bill next week. The $15 minimum wage is being hotly debated because it might not qualify to be included in the stimulus bill, and it might delay everything. Two Republican senators are coming up with their own version of the minimum wage increase in order to gain support from both the Republicans and the Democrats. President Biden is still trying to clarify if he can cancel student loan debt with an executive order. He says that if he can, then he's going to cancel $10,000 of student loan debt, even though some Democrats are pushing for the cancellation of $50,000. The Republicans, they're upset with the Democrats for not opening up schools faster. The Republican politicians are even taking out ads to say that the Democrats care more about teacher unions than they do about the children. The United States will be paying $200 million to the World Health Organization for our membership fees. Donald Trump refused to pay this and withdrew from the organization, but we are now back in. 500,000 people in Texas are still without electricity this Thursday morning. The weekly jobless claims that came in this Thursday morning, the number of Americans filing for unemployment for the first time last week was 861,000 people. That's 100,000 more claims than economists were predicting. This is your Thursday news, and I hope you're having a very nice day. I want to start with the second stimulus check for $600 because I'm seeing people in the comments still saying that they're waiting on it. If you have not received your second stimulus check or you did not receive the full amount, then you're going to have to claim it on your tax return. There is a chance, so there still is a chance that it might still be in transit in the mail. However, the IRS says that they're done issuing the second stimulus check. The IRS delivered 147 million stimulus checks worth over $142 billion. If you need to claim it on your tax return, you'll be looking for the recovery rebate credits, and it's going to be based off your 2020 income. Regarding the third stimulus check, the politicians say that they're preparing to move as quickly as possible once they get back from vacation. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer confirmed that the House of Representatives will be voting on the stimulus bill next week. Once it passes in the House, then it's going to progress to the Senate. The Senate is where the stimulus bill may potentially run into problems. The problem is that some parts of the stimulus bill, it may not qualify to be in the stimulus bill. For example, the $15 minimum wage increase, that might not qualify. Senator Bernie Sanders asked the Congressional Budget Office for their opinion. They responded by saying the minimum wage increase would have broad economic effects that would in turn affect most areas of the budget. Whatever that means, Bernie Sanders' interpretation of that was that the $15 minimum wage qualifies to be in the stimulus bill. However, it's ultimately going to be up to the Senate parliamentarian to decide whether it qualifies or not. Senators Romney and Cotton, they introduced a separate bill for their version of the minimum wage increase. In their bill, it doesn't even say what the new minimum wage is going to be. It just says it's going to go up. Romney and Cotton, they said that they're going to release more details next week. President Biden made one last attempt to rally some Republican support around the stimulus bill, but it failed. Biden's chief advisor, Mike Donilon, delivered a message to the Republican politicians. Either get on board with the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan or become the party that America hates. Regarding Biden's stimulus bill, it is expected that families with children will benefit the most. These households can expect to have their taxes reduced by an average of $3,100 this year. The bulk of the tax savings would be coming from tax credits revolving around your children and a more generous earned income tax credit, which is substantially increased if you have children. The Tax Policy Center found that families with children earning less than $91,000 a year will benefit the most. In political news, President Biden is getting more information to see if he can cancel student loan debts without congressional approval. Senators Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren, they want Biden to cancel $50,000 of student loan debts. Those two senators, they wrote, canceling $50,000 of student loan debt will help close the racial wealth gap, benefit the 40% of borrowers who do not have a college degree, and help stimulate the economy. Biden says that he agrees with those arguments, but he thinks that $50,000 per person is too large to forgive without congressional approval. At Tuesday's town hall session, Biden said that he is prepared to write off $10,000 just as he promised during his presidential campaign. Biden also promised to create a government-run healthcare plan similar to Medicare for people of all ages. Democrat Senators Michael Bennet and Tim Kaine introduced a bill for a public healthcare option that would be available to everyone by 2025. Kaine wants to pass this bill by using reconciliation, which means that the Democrats, they could pass this bill without any Republican supports. The Republicans, they are going on the offensive by accusing the Democrats of giving into teacher unions and delaying the reopening of schools. The National Republican Senatorial Committee even paid for an ad that says, "In the face of overwhelming evidence, Senate Democrats refuse to take a stand against union bosses and support reopening our schools. The question every American should be asking is, why do our senators fight for teacher unions instead of our kids?" Regarding the COVID-19 news, the teachers' unions say that vaccinating educators and support staff is a key component for reopening schools. Vaccinating teachers has been a controversial issue because health officials insist that schools are not a major source of COVID transmission. In a televised interview yesterday, Vice President Kamala Harris was asked if teachers should be given priority along with other frontline workers. Harris said teachers should have priority to the vaccine, but she said that schools have to complete other safety measures before safely reopening. Dr. Anthony Fauci gave his input, and he said that we should vaccinate as many teachers as we can, but we should not wait for every teacher to get vaccinated. Fauci said that we should reopen schools before then. Fauci was also asked when the vaccines will be broadly available to the general public. He said, "We are hoping that it would be by the end of April, but the doses that we were expecting from Johnson & Johnson will most likely not be available for a couple of months after that." The White House has confirmed this. They said Johnson & Johnson will only provide a few million doses by the end of this month. In the United States, we reported 68,419 new cases and 2,366 fatalities on Wednesday. This is according to Johns Hopkins University. The United States will be paying the World Health Organization $200 million as part of our membership fee. This money will be used by the World Health Organization to fight against COVID-19 globally. Former President Donald Trump froze these contributions and withdrew from the organization. That's the news for today. If you enjoyed today's report, please be sure to subscribe. I thank you so much for your support, and I wish you a very nice day.